Hi all, this is Chef Mark with Johnny's Italian Steakhouse inviting you to come in and try one of our fan favorites, the steak de Burgo. It's pan-seared so we can render all that flavor to create a beautiful, velvety smooth garlic sauce with fresh herbs and cream. The de Burgo is served with our Johnny's fresh-baked focaccia bread, homemade, our house salad, and if you don't have any plans already, stop on in or call and make a reservation because we would love to give you a standing ovation with every performance. Johnny's Italian Steakhouse, Village Point Shopping Center, Omaha.
Hi everyone, this is Dragoman Transcription Podcast. We share tips on languages, translation, editing, interpreting, subtitling, and localization. In this episode, our host Ümit Özaydın welcomes co-founder of Taya Translation Services, Matija Kovac. So let's start.
Yes. Having said that, a giant tsunami, this wave, has arrived, or maybe it is already sweeping some of the translation agencies and maybe some translators who were otherwise excellent in their art, in their craft, but then they just could not adapt. And these are exciting times and maybe also risky times for most of us. And I guess we are all trying to adapt, aren't we? So talking about adaptation, I used to be an academic in several universities, and tomorrow I am having a webinar with a group of translation students. So I would really love to get your advice on these students, or the freshman graduates. How can they serve this tsunami? Everything is changing, and maybe they don't really study this in the school. How to serve the tsunami?
This is a very long and complex topic, but let's try to put some light onto this problem. So imagine, rewind time back 10,000 years when first human technology appeared and we became
10,000 years. All right.
10,000 years. Let's start at the beginning of the human civilization, right?
Okay.
If you imagine that none of the technology involved in producing food would have ever changed, there would still only be about 2 million people on the entire planet, or maybe a million up and down or something like that. But what I'm trying to say here is that technological development is inevitable, and through this development, normally the human society will change, and a lot of the automation that we've seen ever since the Neolithic until the industrial age, and of course in the last 150 years, and so a lot of it has led to very fast and very, very deep changes in the way we work, the way we live, and all of that. And what I'm trying to say here is that it's inevitable, even in our lifetimes and even faster than that we have to change the way we do things. Sometimes it's a matter of years, sometimes even less. And one of the things that, as someone who's involved in the technology a lot and the computers and all that, I see this on a daily basis, and it's hard for me to keep up, even though I'm a huge computer nerd, to keep up with all the changes in the technology. I imagine it's much harder for someone who's not that much into the technology and is more into languages because of the art of translating languages. As you said, it's still an art. It's still usually something that you will learn in a humanistic college or faculty. And it's one of the few things in these humanistic faculties that is changing so rapidly because of the technology. I mean, geology didn't change much, or philosophy hasn't changed much because of the technology. Psychology maybe has a little bit, but again, languages are much more, much more at need to change because of all the technological changes that are out there. So what I would say to new translation experts that are coming out of college these days is you shouldn't be afraid of this technology, or you shouldn't be like one of those people like ludists, remember back in the industrial age, that were setting machines on fire because they lost their jobs. That doesn't help the problem. You have to become part of the movement in order to be able to survive. And translation at its core, it's in some parts it's going to change dramatically. So stuff that's very repetitive and easy to translate, or easy for machines to assist with to translate, this stuff is going to change. So why would you waste your time translating the same contracts every day if a machine can help you do it much faster, and you can live a much more meaningful life? You don't have to spend so much time doing repetitive stuff. You can work on more projects and then have more of free time available, or to make use of the technology. But again, I do believe that with this birth of all of this technology, the demand for translations will also increase, because the translation services will become so much more available to the entire community. This means that so much more content will be available to translate that translators will not lose their jobs. Their jobs will change, yes, and in some cases, even that not. Like content, like let's say marketing content that's very, let's say advertising copy, or literature and things that are very, very specific about how they are translated, and are not just contracts or technical manuals or day-to-day stuff that needs to be translated, but someone wants to translate it. That is still going to be done the good old-fashioned way, as it was done 10,000 years ago by a human. So this brings us full circle. There's a lot that automation can do, but then still some things just have to be done by hand, and it will remain so for a long time, I see. Again, you're muted.
Oh my.
I hope I'm making any sense. I keep coming with extremely long sentences.
No, you sound philosophical.
I am. Well, it's a philosophical question, isn't it?
Yeah, but a little pragmatism, or some concrete examples will help.
Sure, we can go back and try and get this angle in as well, if you'd like.
No. I will have it. I enjoy the ride, so let me further this with a joke. We will cut this part, but no, you are who you are. I mean, let's be natural. I mean, let's not be robots. I hate those doctored interviews.
What can you say to translators? They you picked the wrong job. I mean, you're good.
No.
Will not exist by the time you finish college. I mean, it's almost true that a lot of them will just not be working in this industry. It's just
but maybe now they need different skills, like they need on-screen skills. I mean, it wasn't like that, because in the past the translator was perceiving or conceiving everything mentally, and as an abstract form, and then would be typing it on the keyboard. Or 10,000 years ago on a tablet, on a clay tablet. But I mean, with the AI, translators are receiving something preconceived. So I think it's a different. The eye, the brain, the hands. They need some other mental and cognitive skills. And that is not being taught in the school, I think. So I mean, what is still being in the students learn how to translate something from scratch on their own, whereas now they are presented with something to review. So I guess reviewing skills or revising skills are different. Maybe there are some overlapping skills.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Dragoman Transcreation Podcast. Remember, you can always be a guest speaker in our future episodes if you like podcasting. Join us again next time for more tips and tricks from industry professionals. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned.
For Digitas, this is HPE Radio at ID 1HPE03500000, spot title HPE Episode 2 English Radio, 15 seconds long, mixed at Harbor on October 11th, 2023.
So, how do we get AI right?
Well, we need the right volume of data and massive compute power. But with HPE GreenLake, we get access to supercomputing to power AI at the scale we need.
Search HPE GreenLake.